Well, good morning everybody, and thanks for coming along to another of our Raise the Bar breakfasts. We thought this year we'd take a bit of a theme to our real estate breakfasts, and the theme's been around what we're referring to as the great rivalries of real estate. There's a few debates out there in real estate that just always comes up, whether it's at conferences or whether it's just something that we're always asked when we're meeting new clients or sitting down and helping people review their business. And we see the three great rivalries of real estate. One is obviously our topic for today, that selling versus non-selling principal model. The second one is around organic versus acquisition growth within your rent roll. And the third one, a bit controversial, will be that big versus boutique sort of business model. So over the year, we intend to have a breakfast on each of those topics, and you'll see some other content go out about that as well, to share our thoughts on those rivalries and to get the thoughts of other leaders within the industry around those different topics. So I equate that great rivalry a little bit to the Batman versus Superman sort of movie that was out last year. Batman versus Superman, they're both good, but they've got a bit of unspoken rivalry between them. And along that same theme of sort of superpowers and superheroes, we launched last week, a week before last, we launched Business Depot Legal, and the whole focus of Business Depot Legal is around providing that trusted advisor who just happens to also be an expert within real estate to help remove those roadblocks for business. So in that same theme of the superhero thing, we've got the selling versus the non-selling principle. Obviously, there's no right or wrong with selling versus non-selling principles, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But the format today will be pretty relaxed. It will mainly be just a bit of a chat with these two guys representing each of the superheroes. But to set the scene, I'm going to share with you a bit of data that we dug up, where we selected what we would call a group of benchmark clients. So we selected, not all clients actually, but selected a benchmark group of about 30 businesses and split them between selling versus non-selling principle. And we just had a bit of a dig down into the data to see what it found. Maybe a few surprises. So what we found in this benchmark group was that the average total income of a selling principal business was about $4 million. And for the non-selling principal business, just a tad under the $5 million mark. Okay? So that would obviously suggest non-selling principals need to be bigger, don't they? Which would obviously make sense. If we broke that down to just look at the sales income, that flowed through as well. So the sales only income for selling principal businesses was about 3.32, and the non-selling principal businesses still, it was pretty high as a proportion of the total income at about $4 million. But the big question we always get asked is how much profit should my business make? Okay? And I know there's a lot of people out there who are very much pushing people down that route of the non-selling principal route. You know, you've got to work on your business, not in your business. I have a view that you can do both. It's just that being a selling principal is also a separate business within your business. And so we found that of this benchmark group of clients, before the principal took anything out, so it eliminated whether they paid themselves any commissions or not, the selling principal businesses made on average about $1 million profit, and the non-selling principal businesses made about $612,000. Digging down a little bit deeper and looking at what were they paying their team? Is there something different between what they're paying out in their team on average? And the selling principal businesses were paying slightly more out to their team, on average about 53.3%, and the non-selling principal businesses 51.4%. Now that would obviously suggest, you know, selling principal businesses are out there doing some other things, and maybe they just pay a little bit more potentially to keep the team happy and to get them on board and those types of things. These are, of course, just a selection of about 30 clients. A couple of the other interesting insights. In total, or on average, selling principal businesses spend $26,000 less on advertising, marketing, and promotions. And I've got a question on that for these guys as to why we think that might be, that their overall the selling principal businesses spend less on advertising. The non-selling principal businesses, starting to look at the size of those businesses, their expenses overall were 54% higher. So they've obviously got a much bigger machine at the back end of their business, don't they? And obviously that flows through to some of the other statistics that we've already looked at.
you also said sort of the selling principles were what they were spending in compensation, like are there different size rent rolls?
Yeah, these selling principal businesses have got rent rolls in there as well. And I think if I go to my next slide, these selling principal businesses, rent roll is 37% smaller. Obviously, that's hence why that fixed cost sort of basis is so much less. So obviously, maybe they've got so many hats to wear over here already that they're not focusing as much on that rent roll side of things. We always talk about break-even point with your business, and I know the Macquarie benchmarks talk about fixed cost coverage ratio. So that's an indicator of risk within your business. So how much of your fixed costs are offset by fixed income? And we actually found that the non-selling principal businesses had a 3% better total expense coverage. So what they actually do is they obviously have had a higher fixed cost base, so they have a bigger rent roll to compensate it, and it only ended up marginally different in a coverage sort of perspective. The question we always get asked is around profit, and how much profit should we make as a percentage in my business? Now, I never give just one answer for that, because it always depends on your business model, but in this data, we found that the selling principal businesses made on average a net profit of 25%, whereas the non-selling principals in this data was about 12%. In 2016, that jumped up to 26 and 15%, but obviously there's a few different sort of criteria within that. Now, obviously the unspoken thing in all of that is that the selling principal sells, we're assuming he's leaving his commission behind within the business, and that's obviously the justification for that. But for the purpose of what is the right model for you as a principal and for your business, these are the cold, hard amounts of profit that come out at the end. And if we're talking about the cash that's generated, then that's obviously an important consideration. The best of the sample data we looked at, the best selling principal actually had a profit of 49%. Obviously, that was about 40% of the sales was from one principal within that. And the best non-selling was a 27% profit. And I must say that business would probably be one of the best real estate businesses I've ever seen.
That'd be a small team, that'd be a large team.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a free principal business, this one over here as well. Obviously, I thought today, the more discussion from you guys, the more questions from you guys, the better. But so if you do have a question, please simply raise your hand so I know you've got one, and we'll go from there. But to get things started, could you guys just, Martin, I'll start with you. Can you just give us a quick version of your background, how you've got to where you are today as principal of Hardcore Solutions?
Quick summary. Went to uni to study law, realised I was too thick. Did phys ed teaching, realised you get no money, and I built a little resort in Stanthorpe, a place called Happy Valley. Realised that I was a hard worker but not very bright, and went broke. Came to Brisbane, spoke to a guy from PRD called Archie Douglas. Said, Archie, I've got 4 kids under 5 and I'm skint. I need to earn 200 grand a year. And he said, well, you can sell real estate. And we ended up, I said, okay, how hard can that be? And then he said, you can either go to Burleigh Heads or Paddington. And I went, well, Paddington, there's no competitive agents there, so I'll go there. And as it turned out, that was true. And after a little while, one of the problems with being a bankrupt is you can't earn too much dough. So I went from being a listing and selling agent, making a lot of dough and having to give it back, and ended up buying my own business in 2006. And we were fortunate that we joined a group, Harcourts, which was going through a rapid growth stage. And we bought the 86th best office in Queensland at the time. There was 86 offices. And to be fair, they had 11 staff on the Monday, and I took over on the Tuesday, and they had no staff on Friday. So we sacked them all, and one thing's led to another, and we've grown the business. I think we've now got 4 offices, including the rentals. I think 1,000 property managements and a bit over 40 selling staff. And we do all right. And it's interesting, just as a commentary about that before, one of the reasons, and this is getting in an answer why I decided to come, and I've never been a principal myself, not one day. I've never had my face on a signboard from the day, even though I had no cash flow in the first week. And it was a choice I made. And one of the reasons I made was in my personal life business plan, I never went to bed with a percentage, and I didn't want to not spend time with my kids, so I figured I had to work out a way to run a business, not do a job. I'm good.
Yep, thank you. Right.
Right, I'm in my 27th year in real estate. I started in a family business, which was a railway business in Redcliffe. My father was the principal there. Spent just short of 4 years in a franchisor's role, railway corporate. Went into Railway New Farm, Kevin Turner as a partner in the early 2000s. We grew that business. We had CBD Stafford and then CBD Ascot, then Stafford. I realised quickly that you build a bushfire gate, run multiple businesses in one market, it's got multiple places of work. You couldn't be a selling principal to do that. My passion is selling. I love it. I love my team. Currently have a nice business out there at Ascot. We've got just short of 50 staff, including property management. We've got 20 odd sales people, and we've got 600 odd management team.
So given real estate was in your blood, Dwight, were you always going to be a principal of real estate business at some point in time?
From the day I walked in the front door of my father's.
Yep. And did you ever consciously set out to be a selling or non-selling principal?
That's a real. I've done both.
Yeah.
And I never went broke being a non-selling principal. And I realised that big profit margins are there to be had. It does compromise lifestyle. I agree with you, mate. It does compromise your lifestyle a little bit being a selling principal, but you've got to have good people working around you to support that, so you do get a good balance. It was interesting. I never forget when my old man retired. The one thing he said to me, he said, "Mate, you've got to sell. You have to sell." And he was a non-selling principal. He says, "Profit margins will be better, and you'll lead from the front. In times, you will have issues with certain staff, and we'll cover that later. There's a question that I'm going to throw out about that. You will have issues with certain staff.
Well, let's jump into that now, because I think that's a big issue. That whole idea that you have agents. What do they feel like they're competing with you as the selling principal?
Yeah, so I very rarely get this. Times stock becomes tight.
Yeah.
And it's only when stock becomes tight that you get the average performer bring it up with you. Your elite performers never bring it up. In fact, they're more open to sit down and have what I found from being a non-selling principal to a selling principal. The elite performers are more inclined to sit down and have a more open discussion about market conditions and whether we need to, what assistance they need with it. I did have it recently where one of the salespeople felt that they were competing, and probably had a little bit of a point there. I didn't take that on board. Was I competing? No, not consciously, but it's he just had but that person was one of my top performers, and now would be my top 30%. So a lot of them might have been excuses.
Yeah, I think we all see that out there, don't we, with some of the team members sometimes looking for excuses or maybe being lazy to just get out there and do the work. So when that comes up, how do you deal with that, Dwight? When that comes up, you're competing with me,
the one thing is you can't do any issues with any staff. You can't let it linger. So I address it straight away, sit down to prove with them. And if they've got a point, I take them to cheer.
Because I actually see, one of the stats we had up there before, that the net advertising spend is actually less in a selling principal business, and I reckon that's because they're leaning on the profile of the selling principal. What do you think of that?
I totally, in our business, that's not right.
That's not the case?
No. Our business profile as far as vendor spend, as well as company promotion.
Yep.
So that's not the case in our business. I do recognise that in certain businesses, and I see the smaller teams with the selling principles that would be the case because they do rely on it. But if you look at some of if you look across our business, most of those guys are promoted through print media every week, so that spends up there.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on on that, Mark?
Yeah, look, I probably agree with Dwight in that if you like selling, sell. I think you make a business decision about what business you want to be in. And I think if you want to sell, and that's cool. And if you want to run a business. And I don't think they're the same skill set. I think you make a decision, you look in the mirror in the morning and go, well, how do I want to spend my week? And if dealing on a day-to-day basis with running a business is what you want to do, real estate's a great thing. Yeah, there's good margins, and categorically it's probably a little bit smaller. Not as dramatic as what I saw on the board, but it's percentage-wise smaller. But you have an opportunity for more diversity. I think you make your decision based on your personal skill set, and when you wake up in the morning, what you want to do. Do you want to deal with vendors and buyers and that subset of the real estate business, or do you want to work on your business and act as a business person? And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. The big thing is understanding yourself and your own skill set. And I was fortunate, I think, that I was forced into being a business owner by the very nature of the bankruptcy. Didn't enable me to write the big checks, and I couldn't hide any data. It's the truth. Whereas as a business owner, as you know, you can. there's other shit that can go on. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, yeah. So that's why we changed. So I didn't do but I think that was from working on your business and looking at what your primary purpose is. My primary purpose, I suppose, was the things that give me the biggest thrill are watching the people succeed. So in my little business, I've had people start with me and actually work their way to retirement, and they're now retired on a very good wicket. And I've got people who will retire in the next couple of years who've been with me since 2006. So in the last 11 years, we've generated enough revenue to retire. And I've got agents who arrive with me making 30 grand in another company who are now travelling overseas business class. I think you sort of look and you go, that's a good thing.
And you've always had a bit of an internal drive to very much help those other people, and that's one of the reasons I should you're a non-selling principle. But Dane Atherton stood on the turf here at one of our earlier breakfasts and said his role is all about the team. It's all about looking after the team, as compared to worrying about vendors and buyers and those types of things. You still got a lot of hats to wear though, Martin. How do you juggle all those different hats?
It's not as complex as you think, because you surround yourself with good people. It's not hard to work out what you're good at and bad at, and what you're bad at, replace yourself, and what you're good at, do more of it. And I think I like the teaching and the training, so I do the shit load of that. And I don't particularly like detail, so I surround myself with people who are very good at detail. I wake up every morning and do the things that I like to do, and if I don't like it, I do it. And to be honest, I spent 3 years working 10 hours a week, so it's not that complex. I don't see it as that complex a business. I see it as we get a little bit caught up sometimes in our industry because there's a lot of, not witch doctors out there, but there's a lot of this rock star real estate agent mentality, and I think that causes a lot of grief within the industry, whereas if you have people who actually see themselves, and I'm a country boy, if I didn't mention, and if you see yourselves as a doyen of society and a really critical element in the community, I think it makes your job really easy and it takes all the pressure off. Whereas if there's this constant rock star real estate drive, and I've failed in that one personally, historically, it takes a lot of pressure off. So as a business owner, I think find out about yourself, what you stand for personally, and then surround yourself with people with the values. And without giving Harcourt's too big a plug, just in case you're wondering, I work for Harcourt's. Very values-based business, and I think it makes your job very, very easy when you live within tight values parameters, whatever they may be. And if you're a selling principal, I love selling principles. In fact, one of my best mates over the years has tried to copy my business, and I've been desperately telling him, don't do it, be a selling principal, be a selling principal. So I think it works out. You've got to do what works for you.
I've seen many a business owners start a real estate business coming up through that sales sort of rank, aspiring to be that non-selling principal, but they actually lack, they miss that chase, that performance sort of mentality of getting out there and chasing every deal. I've seen people go in business together, and if that person is not allowed to sell, you can just see see the life and the energy sort of suck out of them, and many businesses fail because of that, I think. Dwight, question to you then, similar to the question to Martin. I mean, you've got one more hat to wear than Martin. How do you deal with the juggling of the many different hats as a principal?
Difficult at times, but I will say I enjoy it just like Martin does, driving the team as well. So I've got 26 sales people running out of that business and attached to those sales people is my 8 associates. So I've got a good large property management team. I've got probably likely one of the best property managers running that property management leads running that team for me. So you do surround yourself with it. So I deal directly with her. The sales team, I used to have Dave Waller, who's out here, that was a sales manager, and that day-to-day, question, can you listen to the Facebook group, review this topic, can you have a look at this ad, can you speak to this vendor? It was a lot easier when we had someone like Dave there. I have looked for someone to replace Dave since that, for that day-to-day sales management role. It's very hard to find those right people.
How much you pay?
A lot of money. A lot of money, actually. And if you get someone with that sort of calibre, so I manage the team directly, overall policy there. I have within my sales team, direct sales team, my listing team, probably 4 people. But probably, in my opinion, I've got one of the best sales agents working directly in my team, so I trust him to run a lot of what's happening in the background sales. So I'm really dealing with vendors, and then I spend the rest of the day with sales team. I do recruit. I am driving my truck. I am growing my team. I'd rather develop than recruit. We develop that. Look, my team's like a little bit of an incubator, so I bring people through.
Well, what's the key to that? Because I see you have a lot of success with that. Did you say you got 4 sales associates?
So I've got Alexander Sheen, who he'd be the team leader within that area. Chanel is the PA. We've got Leah, who's moving on. She's going to be short. We've got James, who's coming through the incubator at the moment.
Yep.
When Leah moves on, we will bring more experience into that.
So I imagine that gives you an opportunity to show them how to do it effectively.
And Alex runs them.
Yep. And the idea that they grow and they pop out and go out selling on their own again. I'm talking about the sales manager role because I don't see too many successful sales manager roles.
Well, the one thing you should never do when you're trying to recruit a sales manager is put an ad in the paper, because you get 300, and out of 300, all 300 will be failed salespeople.
Yeah.
So you've got to try and recruit that experience.
So you obviously had a good relationship with Dave when he was your sales manager and so forth. What was the key to making that work?
Trust.
Yeah.
And you've got to trust those people that work with you. If you don't, you might not support people. But definitely trust.
Okay. Well, from a property management perspective, Martin, I know Sally looks after property management for you, but how important has property management been to your model, given you are non-selling and maybe your costs are higher than some of your competitors?
Well, there's a bit of history. When I started, I had no property management. Why would you do a job when you get a pain in the ass and you get paid $30 a week? So we didn't do any property management for the first 4 or 5 years and focused on sales. So I like that. The big ticket items, the cash flow, the not dealing with the minutiae. And then it wasn't until we were very established and very profitable that we looked at a property management business. But now, obviously, there's stability and all the rest. But I got to tell you, property management doesn't float my boat. And it's not an area I spend a lot of time in. And I've been blessed that Sally and her then partner ran the property management beside our business. And once again, establish what you're good at, what you're not good at. I didn't really have an interest in it, so I told the truth and didn't spend any time in it. Now it's grown. Now we're fortunate we've moving forward with some new partners, a new partner, a new direction, and it's the leadership's improved and it's growing. But I'm a bit different to other people. I don't think you have to have a property management business to have a successful sales business. I think there's sorry Dean, sorry John, but I think the obscenity of the 3 times earnings for a property management business, if you're a business person and you look at it compared to other businesses, it's and particularly the messes that you buy and the rest, I'm not 100% sure whether it's...
You've obviously still got a part of your business model though. And why have you got it as part of your business model then?
I got to tell you, hang on that. I think it's because I listened to what everyone told me and it became just part of the business.
Yeah.
And I look at it now and I go, yeah, it's all right, it gives us some steady cash flow and all the rest, but I think for all the time and effort I put into that, if I was to rewrite the history books, if I had put the same, and Sally and I had put the same amount of time and effort into growing the sales team, and once again, I may not be making friends in the room, but I really think we would have had a even more successful business and it would have been big. Whether we could have maintained our sales staff would be the issue. I mean, and we've got 1,000 under it, so we've got a decent sized property management business. And I think it makes the staff feel safe. So with the benefit of hindsight now, I think the main reason you have a property management business is the perception that the sales staff feel safe. And yet our proportion of sales out of the sales of property management business is nowhere near as high as you would think.
I was just going to ask that question, what the referral rates were.
Yeah, it's not as massive as you think. It's not, I get you the exact numbers, and I'm happy to give them to you if you
I'll
send
have
me
a
an email.
conversation, because I've just started to try to figure out. Like, not to you, but with
I'm telling you.
corporate, doesn't it? Not at all, but maybe there's some guidance.
It's interesting though, I did a review, a business health check of a real estate business down in Melbourne a little while ago, and we did the exercise. They very much separated property management into one office and sales into another office. And we calculated for them the value of the commissions of the properties that were sold off the rent roll by other agencies. And this was quite a big offer. It was in the vicinity of $800,000 in commissions a year that they missed out on because they couldn't get their teams to work together.
You're still more exposed, Martin, because you purchased those rent rolls where you didn't have to purchase them, you could just stay with the sales business.
I not now. Probably at some stage we have, but not now. It's big enough and robust enough that it's not now, but probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago we might have, but not now. Yeah. I think it's...
So you're really questioning the value there from a business perspective.
I wish it's shown. I think my point, and staying on point, is I don't think good salespeople necessarily make good property managers. And if you're going to have a partnership, I think the ideal partnership is someone who drives sales and someone who drives property management, because I think they're a different skill set. I think we get bogged down. There's an overarching ability that somehow real estate salespeople are superstars. My experience is they're not the brightest tools in the shed, sharpest tools in the shed, and they're really good at sales. Doesn't mean they're good at attention to detail in property management. And if you have a look particularly with litigation and all the issues that you face on that side and the stress, comparatively little return, I think that, and it's why our business has worked so well, because we had those people who were really attention to detail and me wafting off doing the sales side.
Thank God you don't run your rent roll. Why, how much your rent roll?
600.
And how much importance do you place on having that rent roll there?
Well, I don't believe sales businesses are worth a huge amount of money when they're trying to sell them. And if you're looking to build an asset directed towards retirement, and it's an asset that can grow organically, I support rent rolls. I believe the organic growth will be high. In saying that, I'll buy them.
Yep.
I believe it's a pathway to a better retirement when you go to sell. The other area I place on is, you better referrals into your rent roll. Otherwise, you're a weak people. And the reason they refer into the rent roll is they want their future protected by the managers. So you want to run a very good property management team and have a very good leader to support those sales people.
Do you get very involved in the property management, Dwight?
I meet once a week with Brooke, and I go and sit with them every day.
So very much from a business perspective, you can't be...
But I do sit with them every day. And more just to say, hey,
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Can I just jump in on a point there? I passionately disagree with this misnomer about sales businesses don't have value. If you consider New Zealand at the moment sell their sales businesses for up to 4 times EBIT. So there's a real problem within our industry, and if I was to champion anything moving forward, the thing I'd like to champion is establish the value in the sales business, particularly if it's profitable over time, secure agencies. And I think one of our problems is our advisors and the valuers. When you consider in other countries, the sales business can be sold on up to 6 times EBIT, and certainly in New Zealand it's regularly at 4 times EBIT, and this delusion that a sales business in Australia has
I totally agree with that, and there's reasons why in Australia that sales businesses aren't worth that sort of money. And it's normally because the sales price of the sales business has been squashed by big corporate groups, i.e. the franchise groups, because normally the buyer coming in is another salesperson. 95% of the time, a business owner or a new business owner going into business, they're going in undercapitalised. So they're trying to squash price to make it more affordable. So I totally agree with that.
I like that. And I think that's something as a group, and something's got to start somewhere. Sales businesses have value, and there's no reason why. And this concept that a property management business has dramatically more security than a sales business. That's a leadership issue. You lose properties in property management businesses. I know one particular company's lost 600 properties this year from its portfolio in South East Queensland. If you want to throw them at $5,000 or $6,000 a head, that's a fair whack off their balance sheet. Yet, for me to lose that in my business, I'd have to lose 15 sales agents. Now, if we're good leaders, and this is, I think, one of my long-term goals and my exit strategy is to actually sell from within. But I don't want to give it away because I've worked really hard to get this value. And I think that's really important from my perspective. I'm not saying, and I actually see a really good thing with the selling principle. In fact, I was talking to a guy yesterday about it. If the selling principle wants to sell a business, they actually become an important commodity because they can get a value for their revenue back into the bottom line.
But they could also take some risk out of it by remaining behind. Selling.
It's interesting. I'd love to see the stat on the average size of the sales team in the selling business versus non-selling.
Yep.
And I can guarantee it'll be a lot less.
Yeah.
Where I think if you can put process in place, the selling principle, and still nurture and support a larger sales team. I think we could have a best of both worlds.
Well, in that
saying that, if those prices, I will say this, if the prices did go up to that 4 times, like New Zealand is, the better business for sale is a non-selling business. There's no doubt, because a selling principal business, when the selling principal walks out of the business, there's a lot of goodwill lost straight up. So if that happened, you'll see a lot of selling principals try to become non-selling principals.
Well, I mean, value can only be a product of the cash you generate from the business and the risks and opportunities that cash will continue into the future. And the biggest risk in a sales business is the salespeople are going to walk out the door and you've got no one to sell anything. But if you can reduce that risk, whether it be through a structured succession or structured exit from within, or that person hangs around within there for a period of time and so forth, then you're leaving more of a guarantee that profit and that cash flow is going to continue on into the future. So actually, Martin inspired me to think about this a little bit. There's obviously an awesome blog on this on our website, this precise topic. But I'm a bit on board with this at the moment. There's things we can do in our businesses to reduce the risk that it won't continue, and there's things we can do to make sure the opportunities that will even grow, which means that cash flow can continue into the future. Any questions on the floor?
There's no doubt, John, thresholds of property management are very expensive businesses, and having sold outside of real estate, you're 100% right. So Martin's talking about, this will be in my mind, I would agree, we've sold sales businesses for a lot more than one times ever done. I think Triggers asked for it and showed a bit of courage and valuation. But you're talking about EBITDA, why we're talking about EBITDA with property management sold on income, which is a really strange thing, isn't it? Whereas you're talking about sales business on profit, why we're talking about sales business on the GCI.
When you do the multiples of EBITDA in a rent roll, as you guys both know, it's like I'm calculating 8 or 9% at different times, 8 or 9 times profit. There's not many businesses that transact at 8 or 9 But that's because there is low risk in there, but of course you can lose that capital value. And it's as long as you don't lose that capital value. I know there's a few bankers in the room who don't like it when that capital value depletes because that LVR goes up pretty quick, doesn't it? Anyone else on the floor?
Probably just, guys, with recruitment and versus nurturing, quite obviously you're more focused on nurturing the team, I suppose. Or...
In saying that, I think if one of the best salespeople in the area could come to him and say, "I want to do it," of course, you didn't really go up once or twice.
Normally doesn't happen.
Might for you a bit. It happens, but sometimes they're very problems. I've just been someone that's always developed people. Yeah, I love seeing what they do. I've got one of the guys started with me October last year, and he would be the least. He's never been a full state. And it's a pretty high performing team over there. The last 3 months, he's either been salesperson or manager. So, how's that happened? So I do recruit. I've recruited, my entire real estate career. In fact, when my old man decided he was going to have a little bit of a holiday, threw me in the deep end and said, "We're going to run this team now." And we recruited in those days one of our agents. I just like developing people because they don't feel problems with it. Yeah. There's always any person who can change, there's always a problem.
Yeah.
Whether it's the environment they work or whether it's them, sometimes, probably the majority of the time, it's past.
I think that recruitment question is clarity of your business plan. I think we're backwards from your recruitment model or your development model is once again clarity of your skill set. Recruiting is a skill, and it's a defined skill, and it's a skill and a will, and then nurturing and I don't think they're necessarily the same skills, and I think I've proven that over the years because I'm shit out of recruiting. But it appears, the history will show I've been very good at nurturing.
Yeah.
So now what we've got to do is if we want to grow as a business, we need to fill a gap, and it always comes down to a person doing a job. I think sometimes in real estate, you're doing so many jobs so often that you just never get good at anything. And I was just reading an article in that Elite Agent, and it was one of the comments was, to be successful, it's very hard to be a great all-rounder. So I think, and if I was to lead with any message, was to work out what you really love and you're really good at, and just do a shitload more of that. And then surround yourself with those people who can complement you. So if recruiting is not your go, you'll bust your ass for 5 years, or in my case, 15, and never be good at it. It's just not what you want to do. Whereas if you love nurturing, we'll do much more of it, and then get someone who's good at recruiting.
So, Martin, do you think the proposition you give to new recruits is impacted by the fact that you're a non-selling principal? Does it change what you're offering?
I think you should. If I was a selling principal, and if all the things we currently do, I don't think it would be as impactful. But I think it is, yes, it's a part of our selling proposition, but it's more the time. So if you're thinking, I asked Carmen Briggs, and she's a decent operator, and Carmen, she actually became a selling principal, and then she basically gave me back her business so she could come back and just be a selling agent. And part of that was she wanted to be feel safe and supported, but also you get to a point where, from an educational point of view, from a motivational point of view, you get quite lonely. I think if you're at the top all the time, my only job is really to work out what the people in my business needs are and make sure I provide it. So I think that becomes
So you obviously it's more of a nurturing sort of approach and training.
Nurturing, coaching, and safety, and I think it makes it a really easy gig because I don't have to worry about anything else. So I wake up in the morning and we do an audit every day of everyone in the business, and we go, well, such and such is at 6, well, they should be at 8, so it's a phone call. So you've got so much more time to actually give to those people. Another thing about this, and I'm not promoting either against the other, to be honest, because I think there's truth, but just in my life, means I can take 4 months holidays a year. You know, if I
What
want.
do you think of that, Ty?
Yes.
But you've dealt with it a different way. You've taken the risk out of it by having a team of 4 people within your own sales pod.
You have to have it for yourself, because you will not give your team any time, especially the size of ours.
Yeah.
And especially if they have Dad as a sales manager. In Australia, when Dad left, there's no doubt I struggled with Dad and that stuff. Yeah, no doubt. And it was all that balance and that lifestyle, you know, I must say. I only 4 months holiday a year.
Haven't had all the time.
But, you know, I spent a lot of time with the family, and that's the good thing about real estate, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a selling person, whether you're a non-selling person. Real estate does have that flexibility that you don't have to miss what your kids do at school and events.
It's a matter of choice, isn't it? It's choice. Les, you got a question?
Yes, John. I just wondered, in the success of your businesses, how much weight you put on personal leadership against the brand trade?
Why do you like to go
That's
first?
a you know, I've never thought of that until now, and it's probably a question more for the team than me. You know, I've had salespeople that have been in my team since the day we opened up, and I probably think that's more about our relationship than Ray White and them. But that's more of a question, more for the team, you know. So I can't answer.
I can answer it at 2 levels. I actually considered leaving afterwards at one stage. And then in previous leadership and things weren't going so well, and looked at it as a group. And then, so there was 2 things. So I went and checked with all the staff to see if they'd all come with me. And at that point they would. Then very shortly after, I think the situation occurred now. And as the brand has got stronger, that may not occur now. So there is a more connectedness to the actual brand. So I think if, in my situation, historically when things weren't going so well with the brand, they were more likely to follow me. But now things are so stable, I'm not so sure anymore. But I do think there is, your personal leadership is critical, and I'd answer the question. Well, I believe I would have been successful if I was wearing yellow instead of blue, and I think I would have been. And I think I would have had engendered the same passion and support. If there's anyone in the room who's tried to recruit my guys, as a general rule, they don't leave. Like, it's rare. In fact, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 in the last 10 years have left.
Hangs on to another.
Yeah. And of them, it's interesting, 2 of them have come back. So I think personal leadership's important. I think, you know, once again, if you want to be a leader of a real estate business, I don't think real estate's a big ticket item. I think the business is. I think, and I've got to be a bit careful here. I really hate all this real estate hype, and there's not enough time spent on actually being a really good business person. And there's too much bullshit about all the rock star stuff, and whether it be the media, and there's certain names and businesses, and it's all this profile crap. Whereas if we see ourselves as legitimate businesses, then what happens is we can sell to other businesses, and we can become part of the business community. And I think we look at ourselves a little bit more holistically, as opposed to we get this a really narrow focus in our industry. And I'd like to see real estate as a business and grow and have a broader base. It certainly makes us more financially secure, and that's one of the things I've been able to do outside of the business. You know.
And look, one of the foundation layers of any business, which you do really well, is around that culture, that values, that vision and mission style thing. If you don't have clarity on that, then it's hard to take your team on that journey. And it is something that you do very well. Any other questions from the floor? Darryl?
Back to your opening there, where you had the stats. Was there any direct correlation between selling and not selling in the brand that they sat behind? So was there more selling principles in a particular brand and non-selling principles in another brand?
I mean, not from the data that I looked at. It very much would be a cross-section across independents, franchises, and within the franchises.
And states.
Yeah.
In Australia. States in Australia.
think there's a bit of a model. You know, historically, certainly with the brand I was in, there was this what we call blindness mentality. Like it was much easier to control. There was this perception that if you had smaller, less voluminous and powerful business owners, it was all about control. I think even from a business perspective, when you're prepared to forego control and you're prepared to forego those old-fashioned leadership mindsets and help people grow, I think then businesses can get bigger. I think there's been this sort of hold people down, and I've been unfortunate enough to listen to a phone call from another franchise group saying, if you don't have 20% market share in the next 6 months, we're going to whack an office right next door. Like that mindset is really debilitating. Whereas, and I think it needs to be a growth mindset as opposed to a control mindset. So I think, you know, and I've seen it because I've looked at all the brands. I have to admit, a few years ago I shopped it around and had a look at what everyone had to offer. And at the end of the day, we're very happy where we are. But the brand does help. And I think, you know, White's is no doubt, yeah, there's some advantages being number one, but there's also some big advantages for us with our cultural set from a recruitment point of view and growth. So
and if you're running a business, it doesn't matter. You know, obviously, as the values and visions associated with different brands around the place, but if you're running a business, you're going to have your own values and so forth, which have to be aligned with the brand, but also aligned with the leader of that business as well. Dwight, a question for you. You know, this is an industry which is pretty darn fast-paced, and you know, it's not a, you know, it's quite often that we get a principal walk through the door here and go, I don't know if I can keep going at this pace, keep selling at this level, you know, keep juggling so many hats, and quite often we do see in the industry what I describe as burnout, or they lose their mojo and they lose the energy around it. How do you keep your mojo? Because you've been a selling principal again now for how long?
Since
so how do you keep those energy levels up?
Oh, number one, the capacity about it.
Yeah.
Keeping the energy levels up. Bank account helps with that.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the opposite end of the bank account, as you know. So I think that helps. There's no doubt that you do get on a roller coaster ride. Have I ever questioned getting out of real estate? Recently, no. Early days, yes, absolutely. When I say early days, you know, just post GC, there is no doubt about it. Then you look in the mirror and say, what else can you do? And what else can you do that you love so much and you lifestyle that does? So you start working hard. Every year, every second year, I'll have a peak, and then I'll come off it, and that's just how it is. And I'm on one of those down, not drop, but down periods at the moment for this financial year, and that's when your direction goes a lot into the sales. You know, last financial year was probably the best sales year as a salesperson I've personally had.
Yeah.
Interesting, it was the best year business, both on numbers and profit.
That creates good energy in itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The team. Yeah. I mean, we had someone, you know, we met with someone, you know, only a matter of a couple of weeks ago, who he walked in here and he said, I can't do this, put his wife with it, never was his wife with it, and said, I'm out, had enough. And he said, so you know, tell me I'm not being an idiot. And we pretty much seem to be an idiot. Because I asked him the simple question, well, what are you going to do that's going to make you $1 million a year? And he pretty much walked out with the idea, well, okay, I'm going to spend $200,000. I'm going to sacrifice some of that profit, and I'll still earn $800,000 a year. But whether he spends it on different roles or different functions within the business, he just looked at it from a different perspective. And that's how a true business looks at those types of problems, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think your decision is how much money is enough and your sustainability in business. So I've tried one sales manager once with failed. I've never had a sales manager, so the team of I think 46 sales agents and 4 offices. And the reason was, it was money that I would pay the agents, at the time. Like if you get someone of the quality that I needed, was a lot of dough, and they may very well have brought value to the business. But I just thought I could distribute that revenue through the actual people who's earning it to make them more stable in my business. Then you actually don't have to manage them. You just have to support them. I actually hate the term management, to be honest. But I sort of think if you've got to manage, it's probably something pretty fucked in the business. You know, whereas if the business, you've got to look at yourself. Then if you've got to manage the business, you've got to think, well, what am I doing wrong? So I think that's
Okay. Anyone got any more questions on the floor? Otherwise, we'll start to wrap it up. I'll ask you both the same question then to sort of summarise, I suppose. You know, what would you see as that one big difference in either of your models that changes the way you run your business? Is that one big difference within your business that changes the way you run it?
one thing.
What do you see as the biggest difference between selling and non-principal, not selling principal business?
Saturdays.
Saturdays?
I'm with him on that one.
But you've changed the way you run your business by having a team that helps you.
There's no doubt, but I'll wake up and say that one I wouldn't work on. But I actually have a block out that I have to show my diaries about the hearing on this one. I drop the daughter to school every morning. She's a grandma. So I drop her to school and I pick her up at 3 o'clock every single morning. She does touch training, now netball training with grandma. But on a Thursday she touch football training Thursday afternoon. I drive out to Big Tree Pop and pick her up from there, take her to the park, drop her off. And it's out of my diary, and that's a motivation. And it's not a person that I know complain about that. Saturday she plays netball for Downing Park, for the Valleys at Downing Park, and her games at midday. Have a look at my diary. There's not an auction book at midday, and there's not an auction book at 9 o'clock. And I'm at the netball for her. So you've got to have a selling principle, and you are working longer hours, I suppose. You've got to block out. You've got to give them time because they've got to be a priority for the family. Or what's the use of having a business? The biggest, I suppose, I actually don't mind standing up. And I don't mind it. I think it's enjoyable. If you make it enjoyable, it is. And I love going to auctions. I love not being an auctioneer. I'm not an auctioneer anymore. We've got the best, in my opinion, in Australia. We've got the best auctioneers in Australia and Queensland that we all have access to. I just love working at auctions with salespeople. And I actually work with all the salespeople at auctions. I meet their vendors, set all their reserves for them, unless I've got someone like that who's doing the auction, then I'll be fast to set them.
Anything to add as we wrap up, guys?
I think just work out the one that you want to do and commit to it fully. Don't sort of half-cock it. So, I've seen a fair few selling principals have a go at being a non-selling principal and then don't commit themselves to learning and the education and all the work that you have to do that, which is a different skill set. And then I've seen the reverse, where the selling principals then do half and half, and I think I obviously respect and admire the fact that you spend the time with the kids. Because I have 4 kids, and so it became a really easy decision for me. The business just had to generate the revenue to enable me to spend the time with the kids. And, little Chris good at sport, so and debating and this and that, and you end up, you're going to be dead soon. I want to spend the time with the kids, so I have to have a business. And grandma, Maggie, so you know what it's like. And Sarah, so if you want to fork out a lot of cash for the kids, you've got to earn a lot of data. And you just got to work out the way that works for you. And the way it worked for me was to be a non-selling principal.
But your first point there, though, it's very much what we see is whether you should be selling or non-selling. It's probably more internal of the principle than anything else. Try and make someone who has that drive to constantly perform and get the excitement out of the auctions and the start big deals and so forth. Try and get them to just do non-selling. I tend to see that you sort of suck the life out of them. Anything else you'd add?
All good.
All good. Thank you very much. So guys, hopefully there was some insights in there for you all to take away and apply in your businesses or the other businesses that you work with. As I said, what we see is it's really about the internal drive of the principal more than anything else as to what the right model is for you. But I thought to wrap things up, I might share with you some of the broader data that we have about real estate businesses and really focusing in on where we see the above average results come from. What the real estate businesses look like that bring the above average results. And the first is that they've got a reasonably large rent roll. Now when I say large rent roll, it's large in relation to your fixed cost base. So if you've got a big fixed cost base, you need the larger in proportion rent roll. Secondly, we see multiple principal businesses making more money than others. And that might be husband-wife combinations, but when you've got multiple people in a business with the vested interest in making sure it's extremely successful, we see better results. We do see at least one selling principal produces the best results on the bottom line, but just as important is a consistently performing sales team. There's nothing like if you've got a team that have their lows every now and then they are not the highest performing businesses that we see. But if you can get everyone to consistently sell that 2 properties a month or something like that, then obviously we see that flow through to be the best results. But of course the topic today is really around that selling principle. Guys, thank you so much for coming along. Feel free to make yourself known to any of our real estate team. We've added to it recently. Of course, Craig, who is one of the directors within the accounting side of things, myself, who've been working in real estate for many years now. Jacob's joined our team recently, comes at it from the non-numbers perspective, so he's more your coach, more your business sort of and personal coach. Joe, also from the accounting side of things. We recently launched Business Depot Legal, and one of the reasons Cameron's the right man for that job is because of his real estate experience. And Morgan, who helps us out as one of the managers within the accounting team. So please make yourself known to those guys. A couple of things to wrap up as to where to from here. Jacob's got an awesome 12 weeks, I think it is, video series around why successful businesses fail and how to be the exception. So there's some really good insights in there around things that you probably haven't thought about within your business as to make sure you're the exception to that rule. Also, our big event that we do from a broader business perspective, if you're looking to get some entrepreneurial spirit from outside the real estate industry, our next Depot Next event down at the Powerhouse is on the 14th of June. You can register online. We've got Mark Sowerby, who's the Queensland Chief Entrepreneur. Speaking of that, he founded Blue Sky Venture Capital Fund, so he's got some very interesting business stories. Tamara Law, who's one of the directors of 5.4, who, I don't know if you've heard of 5.4, but they're a food delivery, I think it mainly targeted at men, whether they want high protein sort of meal packages and so forth, but she's also got another number of other entrepreneurial stories. And Susanna George from the Urban List, so anyone who sees all those pretty pictures of food and so forth. She's previously spoken at one of our events around building a database, but she's actually going to tell us more about her entrepreneurial story this time. So if you're looking for something outside of the real estate to inspire you, come along to that. And our next Raise the Bar, dealing with the next great rivalry of real estate, which is going to be a bit more property management focused, organic versus acquisition growth. What's right for you and what's right for your business? So hopefully we'll get some discussion going there as well. And of course, we'll have a copy of these slides if you want to refer to any of that data on our website today. For you to download, just jump onto the Insights page and click on the Real Estate tab, and then it'll filter it for all the other real estate content. Guys, once again, thank you so much for coming along. Always happy to take a call. If anyone has any questions, if there's anything we can help with, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, guys.